Hello, boys and girls. My name is Linda. I'm a friend of Miss Leona's, and I'm going to read a story today. This book is called Amos's Sweater. It's a Meadow Mouse book, and it's written by Janet Lunn and illustrated by Kim LaFave. Some things that you're going to want to keep in mind are, what does the author do? The illustrator does what? Who's the main character? What did Aunt Hattie take away from Amos? Where was the setting of this story? Why did Aunt Hattie take the wool away from Amos? What did Amos wear at the end of the story? All right, you keep those things in mind. Let's get started. Amos was old and Amos was cold. And Amos was tired of giving away all his wool. So one summer day, when Aunt Hattie went out to the pasture with her big clipping shears, Amos balked. "Bah!" he cried. He butted Aunt Hattie and ran away. "Amos, stop!" shouted Aunt Hattie. "Stop, Amos!" But Amos did not stop. Aunt Hattie ran after him. She chased him around the meadow. She chased him up and down the hillside and across the brook. But Amos was too fast. Uncle Henry had to help catch him and hold him down. Then Aunt Hattie clipped his wool. That doesn't look very comfortable at all, does it? "There now, Amos," she said. "That wasn't so bad, was it?" "Bah," said Amos. Aunt Hattie gave him an apple to make him feel better, but Amos did not feel better. He doesn't look like he feels better. He was old and he was cold, and now he was angry. Aunt Hattie washed the wool. She combed it and she spun it. Then she knitted it into a big, warm sweater for Uncle Henry. "Isn't that fine, Amos?" She showed him the big warm sweater. "Bah!" Amos snatched at the sweater with his teeth. He does not look happy about that sweater, does he? One hot day, when Uncle Henry left the sweater over the fence, Amos tried to pull it down. It stuck fast, and he made such a big, huge hole in it, Aunt Hattie came after him with a stick. Aunt Hattie mended the huge hole. She washed the sweater and hung it out to dry. Amos waited for her to go back into the house. Then he jumped for it, but the line was too high. One night, Uncle Henry left the sweater on the table in the back kitchen of the house. The door was open, and the moon was full. Amos could see the sweater from his stall in the barn. He butted the stall door. He shoved it. He butted it. He shoved it. He butted and shoved until the door flew open. He dashed across the barnyard into the back kitchen. He yanked the sweater off the table. Furiously, he pulled it this way and that. An end of the yarn caught in his hoof. He pulled and he twisted to get it loose. He tugged, he twisted, he bit. He rolled around on the floor, and the more he struggled, the tighter the yarn wound around him. Soon he was so tangled you couldn't tell which was yarn, which was sweater, which was Amos. "Bah!" he cried. "Bah! Bah!" In such rage, Aunt Hattie and Uncle Henry came running to see what had happened. "Oh my! Now you've done it," Aunt Hattie sighed. Uncle Henry laughed. He began to unwind the yarn. Amos glared at them with big, angry black eyes. Free at last, he stood up. His two front legs were deep in the arms of Uncle Henry's sweater. His head poked through the top. He looks kind of good in that sweater, I think. And he finally looks happy, doesn't he? "You know, Hattie, Amos is old," said Uncle Henry. "And maybe Amos is cold," said Aunt Hattie. "And maybe," they both said at the same time, "Amos is tired of giving away all his wool." Now, if you go by the farm where Aunt Hattie and Uncle Henry live, you will see the sheep out in the pasture. There's one standing a little apart. That is Amos. He's old, but he is not cold because he's wearing a sweater. Thank you for reading that book with me. That was fun. Bye now.